Hi, same place, same time. We are just doing math videos today because I had the time and I'm worried about starting work again, so... Also, I think I'm getting sick. My throat hurts a lot. So, I have decided to take back up my elemental focus time. And I know everybody has seen me try and fail to do that in the past. But we are picking back up on the element that I failed on, which is air. And I have come to the realization that, to be quite fair, it's like my polar opposite element. I'm an earth sign. Air is exactly the opposite of earth, I guess. In that way, in the across from each other on the wheel way. So that could be the problem. I mean, I know I did well with my earth month. It went really well. I know I did decently with my fire month. I have yet to do water, but I love water, so. But my air month kind of fell short, and I struggled a lot with trying to get it together and do my focus is what I was trying to do. So I think after this amount of time, I can kind of start again, and I think now is the absolute perfect time to do it because we are halfway through Virgo, going into Libra, and Libra is an air sign. Not only that, but everything around me is changing. Not only the season, but also my just post in life. I'm changing jobs. I'm getting older. All of these things all at once. So I think it is a perfect time to kind of sit and reflect on what air means elementally and how it kind of weaves its way into your life. So I have a few things written down as to what I want to accomplish during this elemental focus time, which I technically started yesterday because not only was it the 13th, and I just love that number, it was a full moon. So I unofficially started it yesterday, and I plan to go through until the 13th of next month with the stuff that I have lined out for this specific element. And this is one of the things, wearing a lot of gray, because I associate gray with the element of air for some reason, although I have a lot of earthy tones on my face. Both the sun and the moon, to me, since they're both astral bodies, and, in the heavens, I associate that a lot with air, so we're working with both of them, especially this month, as Hades would be something to work with specifically during an earth reflection, which I did. I definitely did. I'm working all the ancestor stuff, and I was working very closely with him during my earth cycle, I guess. But color association, working with the sun, the moon, just the wind in general, a lot of air visualization, there we go, as there's one type of meditation that I know you can do where you stand specifically in the wind and you kind of just feel it blow through you, taking everything out the back with it. And I like to use that as a kind of, not necessarily meditation, but a way of cleansing, because, I don't know, it's just a very nice thing to kind of do. It's kind of like getting in water and just feeling everything washing away. The same thing with a shower, maybe, if it's coming on you. It's literally washing away all of the grime, but it's also emotionally washing it away, getting rid of all that static energy that's just kind of clinging to your person. So the air visualization is another thing to kind of do in the same vein. And I plan on doing that a lot. It also gives you a time to kind of just sit with the wind in your face and calm down, hopefully. Also, just normal meditation, which I am trying really hard to get back into. And as I touched on the other day, I have a lot harder time just communing with spirit when I am ungrounded myself. And I think a lot of other witches and just energy healers and spiritual people in general will agree with me on that, because when your own energy is muddled, it's really hard to tap into theirs. And it's hard for them to come through to you when you're just a chaotic mess, in other words. So all of those things, and then just my normal, just getting back into yoga, tea, all of these things that I've kind of failed at doing for the last, it has been a long time since I've had a routine. And there's something to be said for a solid routine, and this was another topic that I was going to talk about, is there's something to be said for a solid routine, but there's also something to be said for whimsy and just doing things on a whim. Just doing things just suddenly because you feel like doing them. And it can be a little chaotic, yeah, but it's also nice to have a good balance, I guess. And since Libra is scales, I think that's also a really important thing to come into play here, is that Libra is definitely about balance. And I don't want to discredit my Virgo time of the year, because I'm a Virgo. I absolutely love the Virgo energy that comes with it. September is my favorite month. It's all of it's good. But the Libra energy is there. And that being said, I think it's a good thing to have a balance of routine and also just unpredictability. If you decide to up and do something crazy, you should have the freedom to go with it. And you should not rationalize it to yourself as being, I have to think this through all the time, and I'm attacking myself, really, because I have a hard time not sitting down and writing a dozen pages worth of notes. Like, it's ridiculous. And even though that helps me stay compartmentalized in my head, sometimes it really takes the fun out of things. And I think, if anything, air is ridiculously unpredictable. It's just, it up and moves whenever it wants to. If you've watched trees in the wind, you know that they change direction every other second. It's not something that's going to be there constantly. Sometimes there's no wind at all. So I think that's a big thing about how it differs from Earth. And maybe I'm a little bit out of my element. See what I did there? Because I'm so used to being grounded and sensible and logical and thinking things through. Earth as being unmoving and just bricks sitting and staying in one place, whereas air is crazy and unpredictable. So it's going to be a bit of an earth shaker. I'm not even sorry for the puns. Because it's gonna kind of be hard to get with this feeling, and I have to seriously let go in order to get behind what it's trying to portray to me. And I think once I go through a cycle of particularly trying to understand every element, then it will be that much easier to work with all of them together and take parts from one and use it for a specific thing. And I know that a lot of spellcraft, a lot of witchcraft has to do with elemental things. When you open a circle, you're inviting your elements in from each direction, and I think that's great. But I also think that you should be in very good understanding about what each of them specifically means, how to use it, what type of energy it brings to the table. And as you know, I don't cast circles. I believe I tried 1 or 2 times. There is a beautiful video from Molly Roberts on casting a circle and calling in each element. And it's not only for specific elements, but it's also a bunch of other things related, because she is specifically in like an urban setting. So she does an awful lot of work in an urban setting, and she's associating every direction with a different type of nature, I suppose. Just types of, you should watch it. If I can find the video, I will link it below, because it's just amazing, and it really gave me a lot to work with in a nicer way, I guess, to open a circle. And if I have a front yard and I can go out and be crazy in a cloak and open a huge circle in my yard and just be out there, that would be amazing. But I'm not at that place yet, and I really want to delve deeper into learning each element purely for the sake of that element first before I try and weave them all together, I guess. Thanks for listening to my rant. I'll see everybody next time.